Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my other socials for more. Enjoy. Footsteps thundered down the hallway, followed by the click of a lock. Inside the darkened bedroom, a figure slumped against the closed door, sliding down to sit on the floor. Alexis buried their face in their hands, shoulders shaking with silent sobs. The argument with Mom had been brutal, another in a long line of misunderstandings and hurt feelings. Why couldn't she see? Why was it so hard to find the right words? Fumbling in the dimness, Alexis reached for the laptop on the nearby desk. The screen's glow illuminated a face streaked with tears, reflecting in eyes filled with pain and longing. Slender fingers flew across the keys as a private chat window opened. "You there? I need to talk." Seconds ticked by, each one an eternity. Then, blissfully, a reply appeared. "Always here for you. What's wrong?" Alexis let out a shuddering breath. "Fight with Mom again? I can't do this anymore. I can't keep pretending. I'm so sorry. I know how hard it is. Have you tried talking to her?" A bitter laugh escaped Alexis's lips. "Every time I try, the words get stuck. How do I tell her that her son isn't her son?" There was a pause before the response came through. "It took me a long time to find the courage, too. But you deserve to be yourself, Alexis. You deserve to be happy." Alexis's fingers hovered over the keyboard. "I'm scared, Bree. What if she hates me?" "She's your mom. She loves you. It might take time, but real love is unconditional. You've got this. I believe in you." Tears welled up again, but this time tinged with gratitude. "Thanks. I don't know what I'd do without you. Anytime. That's what friends are for. Try to get some rest, okay? Things will look better in the morning." Alexis managed a small smile. "I'll try. Good night, Bree." "Good night, Alexis. Sweet dreams." The chat window closed, leaving Alexis alone in the darkness once more. But somehow the room didn't feel quite as oppressive as before. With a deep breath, they climbed into bed, mind whirling with possibilities and fears for the days ahead. Sunlight streamed through the curtains, rousing Alexis from a fitful sleep. For a moment, the events of the previous night seemed like a distant nightmare, but reality came crashing back as soon as they caught sight of their reflection in the mirror. The face staring back was all wrong. Angular where it should be soft, stubbled where it should be smooth. Alexis ran a hand through their short, dark hair, longing for the feel of silky tresses cascading over their shoulders. With a sigh, they turned away from the mirror and began the daily ritual of becoming someone they weren't. Baggy jeans and an oversized hoodie hid the body that never felt quite right. Alexis paused at the bedroom door, steeling themselves for the inevitable awkwardness of facing Mom after last night's fight. The smell of coffee and toast drifted down the hallway, a tentative peace offering. In the kitchen, Beth stood at the counter, her back to the doorway. She turned as Alexis entered, worry etched across her face. "Good morning, sweetheart. I made your favorite, cinnamon toast." Alexis mumbled a quiet thanks and slid into a chair at the small table. Beth set a plate in front of them, then hesitated before speaking again. "About last night, I'm sorry if I upset you. I just worry, you know. You've seemed so distant lately. I miss my happy little boy." The words were like a knife twisting in Alexis's gut. They stared at the toast, appetite vanishing. "I'm fine, Mom. Just stuff at school. It's nothing." Beth's frown deepened. "You know you can talk to me about anything, right? Whatever's bothering you, we can work it out together." Alexis nodded mechanically, not trusting their voice. The weight of unspoken truths hung heavy in the air between them. After a moment of tense silence, Beth sighed. "Well, I've got to get to work. Will you be okay getting to school?" "Yeah, I'll be fine." Alexis managed a weak smile. "Have a good day." Beth hesitated, then leaned down to plant a quick kiss on top of Alexis's head. "You too, sweetie. I love you." As the front door closed behind her, Alexis slumped in the chair, fighting back tears. "I love you too, Mom," they whispered to the empty room. "I just don't know how to tell you who I really am." The walk to school was a blur of conflicting emotions. Part of Alexis wanted to turn and run, to hide away from the world that refused to see them for who they truly were. But a small spark of hope flickered in their chest, nurtured by Brianna's words of encouragement. As they approached the school gates, a familiar voice called out, "Hey, Al, wait up!" Alexis turned to see their best friend Marco jogging to catch up. His easy grin and carefree attitude were a stark contrast to the storm raging inside Alexis's mind. "You look like you got hit by a truck, man," Marco said, falling into step beside them. "Rough night?" Alexis shrugged. "Something like that." Marco's brow furrowed with concern. "Seriously, dude, what's going on with you lately? You've been acting weird for months." The question hung in the air, an opportunity to finally speak the truth. Alexis's heart raced, words forming on the tip of their tongue. But fear won out once again. "It's nothing," Alexis muttered. "Just stressed about exams and stuff." Marco didn't look convinced, but he let it drop. "Well, if you need to talk or whatever, you know I'm here, right?" Alexis nodded, guilt gnawing at their insides. Marco had been their best friend since kindergarten. He deserved the truth, but the thought of losing that friendship was too terrifying to contemplate. As they entered the school building, Alexis's gaze was drawn to a group of girls chatting by the lockers. Their easy laughter and effortless femininity sent a pang of longing through Alexis's chest. One girl in particular caught their eye. Brianna. She looked up, meeting Alexis's gaze with a small, knowing smile. In that moment, Alexis felt a connection that transcended words. Brianna understood in a way no one else could. She had walked this path before. The school day dragged on, each class a struggle to focus on anything beyond the constant internal dialogue. Alexis found themselves doodling in the margins of their notebook, delicate, flowing designs that spoke of a femininity longing to be expressed. As the final bell rang, Alexis hurried to their locker, eager to escape the suffocating atmosphere of forced normalcy. A folded piece of paper fluttered to the floor as they opened the door. Heart pounding, Alexis unfolded it to reveal a short message in familiar handwriting. "Meet me at the mall after school. It's time. Nut B." A mix of excitement and terror coursed through Alexis's veins. This was it, a chance to take the first step towards becoming their true self. But the magnitude of that step was overwhelming. With trembling hands, Alexis pulled out their phone and sent a quick text to Beth. "Going to the mall with friends after school. Be home for dinner." The reply came almost instantly. "Okay, have fun. Love you." Guilt twisted in Alexis's stomach at the half-truth, but it was overshadowed by a growing sense of anticipation. Whatever happened next, there was no turning back now. The mall bustled with after-school activity as Alexis made their way through the crowded corridors. Every step felt like walking through molasses, fear and excitement warring for dominance. They spotted Brianna waiting near the fountain, a reassuring smile on her face. "You came," Brianna said, relief evident in her voice. "I wasn't sure you would." Alexis managed a shaky nod. "I almost didn't. I'm terrified, Bri." Brianna reached out, giving Alexis's hand a comforting squeeze. "I know, but you're not alone. I've been where you are, remember? And now I'm going to help you take your first steps." She led Alexis through the mall, past stores filled with clothes that had always seemed off-limits. Finally, they stopped in front of a boutique with elegant dresses displayed in the window. Alexis's heart raced at the sight. "Are you ready?" Brianna asked gently. Alexis took a deep breath, summoning every ounce of courage they possessed. "As I'll ever be." Inside, the store was a paradise of silks, satins, and flowing fabrics. Alexis's eyes widened, drinking in the colors and textures they had only dreamed of wearing. A saleswoman approached, her warm smile putting Alexis slightly at ease. "Can I help you find anything?" she asked. Brianna stepped forward. "My friend here is looking to try on some dresses for the first time. Do you have a private fitting room available?" Understanding dawned in the saleswoman's eyes. She nodded, her smile growing even warmer. Of course. Follow me, sweetheart. Let's find something that makes you feel beautiful. What followed was a whirlwind of fabrics, colors, and emotions. Alexis tried on dress after dress, each one a revelation. Brianna and the saleswoman offered encouragement and advice, helping to navigate the unfamiliar world of women's fashion. Standing before the mirror in a flowing sundress, Alexis felt tears welling up. For the first time, the reflection showed a glimpse of the person they had always known themselves to be. It wasn't perfect, there was still so much to learn and change, but it was a start. You look amazing, Brianna said softly, standing beside Alexis in the mirror. How do you feel? Alexis's voice trembled with emotion. Like me. For the first time ever, I feel like me. The saleswoman appeared with a few more options. I think these might suit you even better. Why don't you try them on? As Alexis reached for the new dresses, a familiar voice cut through the air like a knife. Alexis, what on earth are you doing? Beth stood in the doorway of the fitting room, her face a mask of shock and confusion. Alexis froze, heart pounding so hard it felt like it might burst from their chest. This was the moment they had both longed for and dreaded. There was no hiding anymore. Mom! Alexis choked out, tears spilling down their cheeks. I can't explain. Beth's eyes darted from the dress Alexis wore to the pile of feminine clothes nearby, then back to her child's face. I don't understand. What is this? Brianna stepped forward, her voice calm and steady. Mrs. Anderson, I'm Brianna. I'm a friend of Alexis's from school. Maybe we should all sit down and talk. The saleswoman, sensing the delicate situation, quietly excused herself, promising to give them privacy. Beth sank into a nearby chair, her face pale. Someone please tell me what's going on. Alexis took a deep, shuddering breath. It was now or never. Mom, I'm not the son you think I am. I'm your daughter. I've known for a long time, but I was too scared to tell you. I'm transgender, Mom. I'm a girl. The words hung in the air, heavy with years of hidden truth. Beth's eyes filled with tears, a mix of emotions playing across her face, confusion, fear, and beneath it all, a mother's love. But how? When? Why didn't you tell me sooner? The questions tumbled out, each one laced with hurt and bewilderment. Alexis sank to their knees beside Beth's chair, taking her hands. I wanted to, Mom. So many times. But I was terrified of disappointing you, of losing you. I couldn't bear the thought of you hating me. Beth's grip tightened on Alexis's hands. Hate you? Oh, sweetheart, I could never hate you. I love you more than anything in this world. I don't understand. How long have you felt this way? As long as I can remember, Alexis admitted. It's always been there. This feeling that something wasn't right, that the person everyone saw wasn't really me. Brianna spoke up softly. Mrs. Anderson, if I may, I went through this same journey a few years ago. I know it's a lot to take in, but Alexis is still the same person you've always loved. She just needs the chance to be her true self. Beth looked at Brianna, then back at Alexis. She repeated, testing the word. My daughter. Fresh tears spilled down Alexis's cheeks. Is that okay, Mom? Can I be your daughter? In answer, Beth pulled Alexis into a fierce hug. You've always been my child, and you always will be. As they embraced, Alexis felt a weight lifting that they hadn't even realized they'd been carrying. There would be challenges ahead, adjustments to make, and difficult conversations to have. But in that moment, surrounded by love and acceptance, Alexis knew that everything would be okay. The saleswoman peeked in, smiling at the scene. I hate to interrupt, but I found a few more dresses that might be perfect. Would you like to try them on, miss? Alexis looked to Beth, who nodded encouragingly. Go on, sweetheart. Show me who you really are. With a radiant smile, Alexis stood, ready to take the next step on this new journey. I'd love to, she said, her voice filled with hope for the future. As Alexis disappeared behind the changing room curtain, Beth turned to Brianna. "Thank you," she said softly, "for being there for my daughter when I couldn't be." Brianna smiled. "That's what friends are for. And now you both have a whole community ready to support you." The curtain parted, and Alexis emerged in a beautiful floral dress that seemed to make her glow from within. Beth's breath caught in her throat, seeing her child truly happy for the first time in years. "You look beautiful, sweetheart," she said, her voice thick with emotion. Alexis twirled, the skirt flaring out around her. "I feel beautiful, Mom. I feel like me." As they left the store that day, arms laden with bags of new clothes, Alexis felt like she was stepping into a whole new world. There would be challenges ahead, telling family and friends, navigating school and social situations, and the long journey of transitioning. But with her mom by her side and friends like Brianna to support her, Alexis knew she could face anything. The sun was setting as they drove home, casting a warm glow over the city. Beth reached over, squeezing Alexis's hand. "I love you, sweetheart, no matter what." Alexis squeezed back, her heart full. "I love you too, Mom. Thank you for accepting me." As they pulled into the driveway of their apartment building, Beth turned to her daughter. "So, do you want to keep the name Alexis, or have you thought about choosing a new one?" Alexis smiled, feeling a surge of excitement at the possibility. "I've actually been thinking about that for a while. What do you think about Evelyn?" Beth's eyes welled up with fresh tears. "Evelyn," she repeated. "It's beautiful, just like you." Together, mother and daughter walked into their home, ready to begin this new chapter of their lives. Evelyn knew there would be difficult days ahead, but for the first time in her life, she felt truly free to be herself, and that made all the difference in the world. The next morning dawned bright and full of possibility. Evelyn woke early, her heart racing with a mix of excitement and nerves. Today would be her first day presenting as her true self at school. She had spent hours the night before with her mom, picking out the perfect outfit and practicing makeup techniques they'd looked up online. As she stood before the mirror, Evelyn hardly recognized herself. The floral dress they'd bought at the mall hugged her figure in a way that felt right for the first time. Her hair, while still short, had been styled in a more feminine cut. The light makeup Beth had helped apply softened her features, bringing out a glow that had been hidden for far too long. "Evelyn?" Beth's voice called from the kitchen. "Breakfast is ready, sweetheart." The name still sent a thrill through her. Evelyn, her name, her true self. In the kitchen, Beth was plating up pancakes, Evelyn's favorite. She turned as her daughter entered, her eyes widening. "Oh, sweetheart," Beth breathed. "You look beautiful." Evelyn felt a blush creep up her cheeks. "Thanks, Mom. I'm really nervous." Beth set down the plates and enveloped her daughter in a hug. "I know, honey. But remember, you're not alone. Brianna will be there, and we've already spoken to the principal. If anyone gives you trouble, you go straight to her office, okay?" Evelyn nodded, drawing strength from her mother's embrace. As they sat down to eat, Beth reached across the table to squeeze her hand. "I'm so proud of you, Evelyn. You're the bravest person I know." Tears pricked at Evelyn's eyes, but she blinked them back. She didn't want to ruin her carefully applied mascara. "I couldn't do this without you, Mom. Thank you for everything." As they finished breakfast, a text came through on Evelyn's phone. It was from Brianna. "Ready when you are? We've got this?" With a deep breath, Evelyn stood. This was it. The first step into her new life. "You've got this," Beth echoed as if reading her thoughts. "And I'll be here when you get home. We can talk about everything then." With a final hug and a kiss on the cheek, Evelyn stepped out into the world, ready to face whatever came her way. Thanks for watching. Check out Patreon if you want to have early access to the other parts. If not, it will be online in a couple of days.